and then remove the primary cup, spring cup. Here's the spring seat. Make sure if you do take it out that you put it back in the correct way. The spring sits on that, and we'll align it later.
Okay.
So we're going to take out the original pins and put a set of aftermarket pins in for our particular application. So first thing to do is take out the cotter pin. Just snip them off. There. Check the roller, see if the bushing's worn. If there's any lines on it, like you see there's a line right here, well, it might be a possible bushing starting to wear in it. Not sure. Looks pretty good still though. And we'll take the old pin and we'll force it out with the new pin. So now these washers here, just make sure they don't drop down. Right on. There we go. And turn the cotter pin hole to line up with the one for the arm. So now we have the new cotter pin. Oops. And there's a long side and a short side. And from pulling it apart as stock, it seems they have the long side is always on the down, pointing down towards the lever hinge. There, that's pretty good. Then this empty pin, will apply the weight to it. The set screw we need, and I can't find it. So this particular clutch kit for the 440, we need about 16.5 grams. The pin empty right now is 14.5, so we need 16. You can just look on the chart here, 16.6. Half-inch set screw. So half-inch screw equals whatever grams. 2.1 plus 14.5 will be 16.6, and that will get us going. So we got the new cotter pins in, the new pins in, and now we're applying the set screw. And we'll bottom the set screw out against the cotter pin inside. I don't ever use Loctite. I've never seen one a set screw come out when you installed them properly, bottoming them out. So I can feel it hitting the cotter pin now. Just give her a little bit more. And good. These screws are standard 1/4 inch by 28 thread, so it's just a fine thread set screw. You can get them at Napa store, Canadian Tire, Western Tire, that sort of, any hardware store. And as long as you know the length that you need, you can still go off the setup sheet. Each screw has a gram value. So we check the rollers and everything seems to be good. And we'll apply the primary spring back again. Remember our timing mark, right? There's the notch line we made. We're going to apply the new spring for this calibration. And remember the timing mark, right? They all line up. Some guys use Loctite. The manufacturers recommend to use Loctite. I do sometimes I don't. Make sure that you line up the casting. If you start to press this down and get chip the casting, you're probably going to crack the spring cup. I've seen it done. I actually done it myself back in the early days. Now, sometimes with these clutches, you'll see this washer may be offset. Maybe when you put the spring in, that this didn't seat properly. So sometimes what you can do is just take the puller in there and give it a tap with your hand, and that spring seat will move around right to the center, because you'll know the spring seat is not centered if and when you go to put this on, it will not want to go on, and more than likely this is misaligned. Yeah, it's just a little bit off. There. Now it'll go back on. Okay, so we're going to return the governor cup back on the assembly, line up the timing marks, wobble the fork back and forth to get the button in the galley. Remember the timing mark. Sometimes, look at that, just like downtown.